YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back. Today I got my Cleveland Browns 2021 record prediction. Going through my actual prediction. We're going to go through best case scenario, worst case scenario as well at the end here. And we're going through every single NFL team. We've done a couple teams from this division already. We've done the AFC East, the NFC East, and we're going to, again, every single team, game by game, eventually playoff predictions and more. You guys are involved and make your own predictions in a way on our Twitter, voting for who wins division and more. So make sure you follow that at Goat House NFL. There's a link pinned in the comments there of every single video, so check that out. For this website, playoff predictors, or for these videos, playoffpredictors.com is what we're using here. In the Cleveland Browns, damn good-looking roster, let me tell you. Offense, we already knew was pretty complete. I really think the offensive line is the key to that team. You know, they played so well. You got to give credit to the coaching staff as well because guys went down, and they were still playing pretty well, and they were one of the worst in football just a couple years ago, really. Defensively, they added speed. They really improved that secondary as well. So that's why I'm looking forward to that. This team in general. Some people have their doubts probably because of the Browns. I guess understandable, but there's really no logic behind that. Just kind of, you look at this team. It's a very good team on paper. Got to stay healthy. You know, Garrett missed some games last year. Offensive line got a little beat up. Chubb got to stay healthy as well, but it's not like an injury-prone team or anything like that. So run through my predictions here, and then we'll circle back and do best and worst case scenario. Right off the bat, Browns versus Chiefs, a rematch from that great playoff game. It could go either way. Really good game. The Browns built that secondary basically to compete with the Chiefs and the Bills of the AFC. That's why they prioritized that. So I do like that. Chiefs at home to start the year off, though. I am going to go with the Chiefs. Offensive line going to be looking a little more healthy than the last time we've seen them in the Super Bowl and, you know, against the Bills and the Browns there. And not only is it healthy, but it's improved as well. That should be a heck of a ball game, though. It could go either way, but I'm gonna go with the Chiefs there. Out of them beating the Texans, still curious to see who's gonna be starting at quarterback for the Texans. Bears versus Browns. I'm thinking it'll be Andy Dalton here in Week 3 for the Bears, at least early on. I think the Browns will be fine against them there. So the Browns, Vikings. I love this game here because the Browns and the Vikings are pretty much the same. It is the same system. You know, Stefanski coming from Minnesota. They run the same exact system. They want to run the ball. They want to pound the ball first, wear out the defense, and open up the play-action pass. It's what they do. Both teams do. They both very much improve their defense this off season here. I'm looking for the team. I don't think either team's going to stop the run against their opponent here. I'm looking for the team that I think could slow it down a little bit. I actually think the Vikings can slow the Browns down a little more in terms of the run game, you know, stopping that run. I think Dalvin Cook, and again, on the opposite side, I think Chubb and Hunt could be a problem as well for the Vikings. But the Browns interior, you know, and there's still a question with the interior D-line, and there's a question with the linebacker unit. Where that's where the Vikings look extremely strong here. So in this heavyweight running game here, I'm going to take the Vikings at home. Browns, Chargers, I have them bouncing back. I think they'll beat the Chargers. I think they'll get good pressure in this game. And I think they'll have some success on the ground here in this one as well. Against the Cardinals, Oklahoma quarterback showdown. Kyler Murray versus Baker Mayfield. I think it's a really good matchup for the Browns. They have the secondary to kind of prevent those deep balls of the Cardinals, keep everything underneath. And the Browns, I think they'll be effective on the ground there. I guess another question for the Cardinals, you know, they got those pass rushers with J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones. I think it's a perfect matchup for the Browns because I think they can pound the ball in the interior, you know, attack the interior defensive lineman of the Cardinals. Their linebackers are upside guys of the Cardinals. They're a bright future, but right now they could struggle, and that could open up kind of those dagger play-action deep balls against the secondary, which feels like Buda Baker right now. So I just really like the matchup for the Browns in that game. Broncos, Browns. The good thing with the Broncos, you know, that they can slow down the run, and if you come out the gate and slow down the run for the Browns, it really changes their game plan, but I trust the Browns offense to kind of figure that out in that game. Does the Broncos... It's the Broncos quarterback situation that kind of worries me in games like this. You know, will they be able to throw the ball downfield? Will they be sticking to the run game? And it could probably be a little effective on the ground. It could be a good game there. I did the Steelers video. The Steelers grabbing this away game off their bye week, and it was one I'm definitely back and forth on. I can go back and do best case scenario. I do think the Browns will either kind of gives away what I'm doing here already, so we can fast forward a little bit. I think worst case scenario, the Browns split. I think they can 2-0 the Steelers. It's just kind of the gut feeling I have when I'm doing that one, but I'm very close to having a 2-0 Browns. I have them beating the Bengals away. Patriots, I thought, presented a pretty good matchup. I think they could, slow them down enough defensively, and then, I don't think they'll get completely shut down offensively here. I think a pretty good game. I'm hoping it's Mac Jones for the Patriots. I keep talking about that. I think he'll be more effective than Cam Newton. So I think the Patriots sneak one off the Browns there. We'll go Browns against the Lions. Ravens, Browns, yeah, I had this one as a split as well. I had it more like that off the bye week, late bye week. I had the Browns winning and beating the Ravens, so after their rest, I had the Browns here. Browns-Packers, a good game in Lambeau, in the cold. I do think the Browns are built to play in the cold. I'm not worried about them in that situation at all. The Packers have struggled against the teams that really pound the football inside, so I think they could have some problems. Not too many teams the Packers have a problem with. A very consistent, good team, but I think the Browns are one of those teams that can kind of present that problem a little bit. Really good game. And then I had them beating the Bengals here. So 12-5 if you're keeping track. I also had the Ravens going 12-5. So pretty good battle there in the AFC North as expected. Kind of circling back and go best case scenario. They really could beat the Chiefs. I just don't want to change all these to win. The Browns really could beat anybody. It's a really good roster. We'll switch the Vikings one maybe. I do like the matchup for that one with the Vikings. And again, I think they can 2-0 the Steelers. Around there, they could very easily beat the... It's only 2 losses then if we do that. They might be more likely, and it might be, if I was going to do one of these, it might be more likely that way, I think. 14-3 is looking pretty good, best case there. It's a pretty damn good team. And then kind of going worst case, we can go something like the Bengals could get one off them. Give the Packers the win there. I think worst case, it's looking pretty good for the Browns because worst case is around 9 wins. That's a pretty good. I don't see it happening because they're too good for that to happen. But that's a pretty good floor, around that 9-10 win range. It's a pretty damn good floor. But I had them winning around 12 games. They're at 12-5 there actually. But kind of going back to my actual prediction here. 12-5. Like that. Ignore the Week 19. It's trying to predict the playoffs, which we're not through all the record predictions yet, so it means nothing right now. We'll get to my playoff predictions, though. But yeah, like this Browns team, I definitely think they're built for I think they're built for the playoffs, too. That's the good thing. They could actually be better, 12-5, and they could be better in the playoffs. So I really like that. We'll see if, it used to be, there's a lot of changes there, especially in the secondary and their defense. A lot of changes in the defense in general. Like 5 years ago, it used to be teams got all these new players and it looks great, but there had to be an adjustment period where it took a little bit, specifically for defense, where it took maybe a year. They're a little disappointing, but it doesn't really seem to be the case anymore for most teams. Really see that. So, but that's something to watch for. Do they get that chemistry, early on? I think they will. So you just wonder how the interior D-line will play and how the linebacker unit will play. They did. Overall, I think I shouldn't say they improved the interior because they got rid of Sheldon Richardson, but I think they improved the linebacker unit. Love the JOK pick, so excited about, a lot of these young players they got. They should be a lot better in coverage, let me tell you. So, that's going to do it for the Browns video here. We got the Ravens and Steelers up. We got the Bengals to go still for the AFC North. Then we're on to the NFC North, and then we'll keep going on. So, playlist full of these videos on the channel. Ton of other videos and a lot more to come. Full NFL coverage here. So smash that like button, subscribe. Make sure you follow that Twitter. Very important. You'll find a link down below. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.